Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm showing you the process of how we started to create the music, and there's so many crickets right now and I just need to address it. I'm sorry about the crickets. We're in the jungle. It's jungle life. Yeah, so I'm gonna take you guys back to the beginning when we got to the Knicks, and Sunny and I had expected to make my album just the two of us, and there were some different plans for us. We got into the studio, we started working on things. Amanda, who's a producer that lives here, kind of sat in with us a bit and watched what we were doing and was like, "You guys have no idea what you're doing."
Funny, you were like, Sunny is my producer. I was like, all right, yeah, like what do you girls need? Yeah, just set up this thing for record. It's like, oh yeah, you want the click to record? It's like, what are you talking about? It's like,
She was like, I'm learning Ableton right now.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And at the time, I think Sunny and I were so confident. We were like, we can do this. Like, we don't need any production background. Like, we just have the desire to create this project. We thought that was enough, but Amanda came in and she was like, look, like, I'm a producer. I want to help you guys. And so we started to work with Amanda.
I wanna kick it with you all day long. I just wanna love up on you all night long.
And then Amanda introduced me to Clint, who actually was the person who created the studio.
On and on.
I don't think it's a good idea.
And then there was another producer living here named Arthur. And so we became one giant music team. It was Clint, Arthur, Amanda, Sunny, and me. And we were just jamming in the studio, working on this music, and just like learning how to work together. Like, none of us had worked together before, so there was a lot in those beginning days and weeks of just like learning the best way to communicate with each other. What was your first impression of me?
Is it before we saw your YouTube channel or after? Talk about the YouTube situation. It was pretty funny for us because you have a very consciously vibe, like grounded person. And your YouTube channel, it's very more like, "Hi everybody! Yeah! I'm gonna be a mermaid today!" And if I had discovered the YouTube before the person, I would have been different.
Yeah, like that was a version of myself, and I feel like I've changed so much since then. Like, that was a big reason I needed to create such separation between me and YouTube, because I was like, I had lost myself in this character that I had become for the people and for the views, and sometimes it is hard for me to look back on them because they're so different from who I am now, but it's also a version of myself that I love, like that playfulness, and I feel like, we brought some of that into the songs, like Astronomical Phenomenon. It's very like bubbly and playful, and that's still a big part of me. So we're currently recording my heartbeat for Tightrope because I said I wanted to have my own heart in the song.
You're slowing down.
Wow, that's cool. So the first few weeks were all about getting to know each other, feeling comfortable with each other. For me, it takes a lot to feel comfortable with sharing my art and sharing like creation. So yeah, just creating an environment where I felt safe enough to share these super vulnerable parts of myself. And so there was a lot of singing and dancing and meditating and sharing circles. Yeah, we really spent a lot of time trying to get to know each other. It's yours, this is our way, I'm yours. Every time. Gigi just wants to go on a loop every time. It never ends. It was really important for me to always set the space before we went into a recording session. So typically we'd walk in there, we'd all sit down in a circle and meditate together, and then maybe share a bit about how we're feeling that day. Like every day, everyone goes through so many emotions, and I think it can really help in a creative team, just knowing where everyone's at. I didn't really know what to expect coming back here, I think, because after, like at the time when I left, I was so ready to leave and so ready to just kind of like say goodbye and close this chapter. But coming back, like I felt so many warm memories come flooding back in, and I think like the thing I love most about coming back to a place is feeling the shift in your body of like who you were when you used to be there, and then you can actually like feel all those changes that happened. And I think so much, like I changed so much throughout this project, and I just remember all the phases of like the initial excitement and coming in here and wanting to make 20 songs and 50 songs. And then like just true. I think it just really opens everyone up and makes it just such a more effortless process. Like the process of creation can get so stifled when there's a lot of blockages, but we put in those practices so that we could all be clear to create. A lot of times it would be depending on what we needed that day. Maybe it was we needed to shake and dance and be crazy. Maybe it was we needed to be still and soft. Maybe we needed to scream. Whatever was kind of flowing through, I would always try to like feel the energy and then kind of direct us that way. As most of you know, this process is something I've wanted to do for so long. Like I've always wanted to be a singer since I was young, but there's been so many fears and things that have gotten in the way. And so all of those got brought up again once I started working on my music. Yesterday when we were in the studio, I was singing for them, and Arthur pointed out the fact that my hand was shaking.
Can you hold your hand like that? Are you shaking?
I don't know. I don't usually play for
Don't be.
other musicians.
Don't be.
First of all, I was really embarrassed. But second of all, being the shaky, nervous little girl has been an identity that I have been tied to for a long time. Like, basically, I didn't even consider being a musician as a career I could pursue because I had terrible stage fright. Like, the moment I would get up there to sing, my throat would close up, my entire body was shaking, which really affects your voice, and I just couldn't do it. And so somewhere within me over the past few years, I finally found the confidence. But I realized that shaky little girl, that's not just in my singing, that's in my life. Like, I become submissive when I sense that there's someone more dominant than me in the room. And I guess I sensed that with Arthur, because he came in with this dominant energy, like, I'm a producer and I'm very critical. And immediately I became extremely submissive and scared and nervous. And I was just sitting here during my morning practice and I'm like, I'm ready to let that go. I don't want to be a shy, nervous little girl anymore. I'm ready to come into my empowered, confident, strong, badass woman, like divine feminine woman energy. I am my voice. My voice is just this outer reflection of me. So if I'm sitting there shaking while singing a song, I'm not gonna sing with power. And you best know I'm gonna be a powerful goddess by the end of this album. I see it already. I see it unfolding. It was a very confronting process. I think some of the main things coming up for me were just like fears of not being received, like pouring my heart and soul into this project and then either it being looked at as a joke or just not received at all, like no one listens to it. So I just had this call with my therapist, and this is something that's been coming up for me a lot over the past few days. If this creation doesn't reach as many people as I want it to, or affect people in the way that I want it to, or I don't feel like I have purpose, and that's just like way too much weight to put on a project or a person. Like I feel like I'm moving so fast through everything, and I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm there. And I don't want that to happen with this project. I want to experience it and just have fun and take it lightly and just make music from my soul, for myself and for everyone who's working on this project and creating it, so that we can all have fun and enjoy and create and pour our hearts into this, and just for the sake of creating, just because we love it. And that's the goal. That's how you scream into your pillow. But I kind of worked through that and got to the resolution that if it doesn't get received at all, at least I had fun making it.
I just thought it was so funny, like when we were recording, it was Clint and me, and then Chloe was like, "Oop, I will take my top off." I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I did that!
And you were like, yeah, okay, much better. I was like, is this happening?
Like, I was literally like, a few days, like after we started working on the project, like we had never recorded anything together before, like that was so early on, and I just was like, I'm getting naked.
I looked at Clint and he was like, Clint was like, and afterwards I talked and it was like, Amanda, you don't know what I already saw in the studio.
I saw some shit.
But you said I was the first naked girl.
The first naked girl. Yeah. The first naked girl.
It was probably like, oh, this is what we're working with now.
Let's do it. It's okay.
It's okay, he says now. It's okay. Boobies in the studio, it's okay.
It's alright. It's acceptable.
We can get used to it.
Call you now. I shouldn't and I couldn't. Meh. Meh.
Okay, so what we're doing right now, I want to fill you in. Basically, I want to tell you what we're doing is we are going through these 18 songs and trying to decide which ones are actually going to go on the album. And this process has gone from going through 50 songs, then going through like 20, like now we're going from 18 and trying to just narrow it down because we just had a whole meeting about how like many, how long it takes to make a song and stuff. And although I love these songs so dearly and I'm obsessed with all of them, it's something happening behind me. You have a giant smile. Anyway, we have to sing all of them. So I'm singing them to everyone and everyone's taking notes and like basically voting on which songs are the best.
I think I'm gonna film myself. Hey guys, my name's Arthur, and
I'm happy he's here because I'm not only with girls and
Are you overwhelmed with the emotions?
so many talks, and I'm so overwhelmed. Like literally today, I said everybody's so emotional. I have to be wear my bear skin.
Yeah.
Literally
I know, look, it happened.
20 minutes later, we're sitting in the studio and everybody's crying.
Good morning. We're in the studio today. Is everyone ready?
Oh yeah.
You excited? Wow. That sounds so good. Sounds so fun. Figuring out which songs we were gonna produce, like what was gonna come first, and eventually we decided that the first song we were gonna produce was my song Apollo, which is next week's episode, and I'm super excited for you guys to hear this song. It's also coming out next week, so look forward to that. I have the pre-save link in the description. Ah! It's finally happening! It'll feel like a movie, it'll feel like a ride. You could close your eyes and listen and it'll blast you off into a whole other world. This is so awesome. Oh my god. Within a few months, or by the time you're watching this, like, this is actually an album that you can listen to. That's exciting.